Hey, everybody, I am like 1 minute late. I'm super sorry. One second, I gotta turn this heater off because it's gonna get loud. All right, here we go. Let's start this for real. Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, where the coffee's hot. That every time that bike is relatively fast, and your comments are thankfully completely ridiculous. I love you people. There's my mom who just was talking to this morning because she called to wish my son happy birthday. It is Ewan's 15th birthday today, so everybody say happy birthday to Ewan. He is just the best kid. Yeah, love that kid, along with my other kid. They're both best kids. I love them. Justin McCauley, glad I can answer your email. Scott Copland, Dave Brayman, Zach Farkash. I did get the email with your list. I'm working on that. Who's Islander coming in from Vancouver Island? How's the weather up there right now? Tony Andrews, good morning. Can't wait to see you down in Arizona. If you are coming to Arizona and you're watching this, first of all, give us a punk rock sign. Also, let me know. I can't wait to see it. My mustache is out of control this morning. It's nuts. I've actually been up since like 5:30, but I feel like I literally just got out of bed. Sandy Smith, Kel Becker, Cycle Farm, what's happening? Coffee's tasting good this morning. It's kind of gray and but it's going to be like 50 degrees today. So if you're in the Montrose area or you want to know how the conditions are, it's good. You can ride Peach Valley, all that good stuff. It's going to be awesome. Like awesome. So, yeah. We are headed to Phoenix, Arizona. I just call it Phoenix. It's really, we're over on the east side near Cave Creek in the Rio Verde, Wildcat, that area. Can't wait to ride there. Never ridden there, actually. I'm really excited. It's going to be new. Rural Delinquent, Joe Stratman, what's going on? Just got a Mako 369 for Leonidas 93. I know you mean Mako 360, but it'd be sweet if they had like this super special version called the 369. There's my dad, Scott Spradling. Oh, by the way, say hi to my mom. I know you're saying happy birthday to my kid. That's good. But if you don't say hi to my mom, you will get punched in the face. Trust me. I know. From experience. James Burris, a bit chilly. Where are you, James? I can't remember. Yeah, Mako 360. Good job, dude. Honestly, one of my favorite things. By the way, guys, I'm going to quick here. I got to do something. I am currently finishing up editing a video in for the final beta video thing. It's the last video, kind of the final build, going over all of the stuff. And yeah, you guys should know that if you become a member of the channel, you'll actually get to see that stuff early. In fact, right now they should all be getting notifications letting them know that they can watch it now. So it's pretty cool. So Des Moines, Iowa. Ooh, sorry. Maybe Des Moines is not a bad place if you live in a city, but I'm glad I don't live in Iowa. No offense. Oh, I love the West. 36. Yeah, so it's probably here. I think, well, I woke up this morning, it was 30. But like I said, it's going to be up to 50 and no moisture that I know of. So, yeah, guys, it's an open forum today. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Like I said, thank you, members. Thank you, patrons on Patreon. I really couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you, all of you who just watch these videos. Amazingly enough, they give me money for that. I can't even understand it. The internet is a weird place, and somehow, some way, it's deemed that I'm okay to make a little bit of money. So I really appreciate it. And also, all of you guys who use the Rocky Mountain link makes a huge difference. Huge difference in my life. So thank you very much. Trying to grow this thing, guys. I want to make this thing huge. So I want to make a lot of money so that I can spend a lot of money on cool bikes and cool projects to bring content to you guys. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to like bank a bunch of money and just like sit fat and happy and rest on my laurels. I want to grow this thing to where I can afford to do crazy stuff like go to New Zealand, go to Vancouver Island, ride there, report on it, show the anyway. That's the goal. So, open forum today, open Q&A. What do you guys want to know about? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the beta? You want to talk about the KTM? Want to talk about that Penton that's in there in the back? I'm now currently looking for an ignition coil for a Motoplat system from a 73 Sachs. If anybody knows. See Abbott, what's happening? What makes the valving from Woods to MX so different, and why can't they coexist? Cycle Farm, that's a good question. They can't. So they can coexist. Cycle Farm. The problem is that when they set one up from the factory, right? Like if you build and I'm talking about a normal person's moto. Like if you talk about guys racing professional motocross, and then guys racing like professional supercross, those bikes would not work well in the woods because they're completely different. Those guys are riding on a completely different level. But for the normal folks, even up to an A-level rider, you can valve suspension to work on the track and in the woods pretty darn well. The problem is that when a factory does it, like KTM, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, whatever, and they build suspension, it's just super simple, right? They got to make it simple. They got to save money when they're building those stacks, and they just jam them in there. It's just very, very one-dimensional, I call it. But there's little tricks and things and it's not tricks. It's just valving that people do, changing things, adding crossover shims, and just changing some stuff so that it will work for in both places. Like my KTM, I revalved it for more like hair scramble fast stuff, so it's actually going to be pretty darn good on a track. But it works fine in the rocks too. It's not as good as it was when I had it set up real squishy, but it works really good. So they can coexist. It's not a thing. Oh yeah, pains and rights. Don't forget about my Amazon link. Right, Amazon link. Thank you very much. It's in the description of all these videos. So thank you very much. Sandy Smith, KDX project. I have been so busy. I have not worked on it at all. It's coming very soon. Also, the weather's been cold and my shop's not heated at home. And I know everybody's like, insulate that thing and heat it. Well, this channel is not big enough for that. I don't have that kind of money. That's very expensive. But the weather's changing, so I'm going to have more time out in the shop. Anyway, so that's coming very, very soon, actually. Hopefully next week we'll start working on that. Well, yeah, next week. Let's see. Hi from Oregon. What's happening, man? Let's see. Black Bike Co. Just bought a 24 TE300. What oil should I run? And best first mod. Also, what proper break-in? Thanks. Good question. So, personally, big fan of Bellray Gear Saver in the tranny, and I like the Motor X 2-stroke oil. I like that stuff. It works good. Best first mod. Mako 360 on the handlebars, and I would get the TSP head and ERM. I know that's kind of silly, but if you bought a carbureted bike, you'd have to jet it. So and make it like tune it just like you want. Even if you lived at sea level, jetting is really important to get the thing just dialed in. ERM allows you to do that. Yes, it's $400 for this little guy, but I think it's worth its weight in gold. You can also check codes, clear codes, do diagnostic stuff. You can like change TPS. Anyway, talk to Steve at South Bay Motor Performance. Buy that stuff, put it on, you'll be happy. Honestly, the suspension on that bike is brilliant, really. I mean, it can be better always, but it's really very good stock. And I mean, you need guards and stuff like that, but I don't count that as a mod. That's just protection. I hope that answers your question. KTM versus Beta, what do you think of the difference in the build quality and maybe compared to the YZ250? Great question. So I'm going to make another video about this, but I think this is a great time to mention this. So here is my view on the Beta and the KTM. Imagine, go back in your mind to, and a lot of you guys are probably too young. A lot of you guys are like, oh, I'm way older than that. To a 1988 Toyota pickup truck, 4-wheel drive pickup truck, two-door, single cab, bad ass little 4-wheel drive truck, right? 22R motor in it, carburetor, super simple, go anywhere, tiny little wheelbase, like crawl over anything, unbreakable machine, right? Absolutely incredible. Now, by the way, if you can't picture that, Back to the Future truck. Um, now, imagine a brand new 2024, 2025 Toyota Tacoma, 4-door, every bell and whistle, right? That to me is the difference between the Beta and the KTM. Um, the old one, I mean, I know the Beta's not old; it's a brand new bike, but honestly, when you hang around with it much and work with it, it feels old, not in a bad way, but it feels old school. It's incredible. It's reliable. It's unbreakable. Blah blah blah. All those things. You can fix it in the field. It's very very good. So I like that about it. But which one do you want to drive, right? And that's just it. The thing is, there's a whole bunch of people out there, right, who want to drive the 88. They want to ride the Beta because they like that much, and that's phenomenal. Me, I like new shiny stuff, and the KTM is just nicer. Is it better? That is up to you to decide. But it's hands down nicer. The fuel injection is off the charts good. Yes, you got to buy the ERM. You don't even have to buy the ERM. My bike, everybody keeps asking me, like, well, what about all the money you put in the... I took my KTM bone... I keep pointing at it. It's right here. Bone stock. I put a Mako 360 on it, a better skid plate, and a disc guard on it, and I took it to a race, and I won the 40A class. Granted, it was a sandy hair scramble with some rocks, but not a lot. But I won the freaking 40A class on it. Like, I had the thing for 5 hours, and I went and won on it, okay? There's no way I could have done that on this Beta stock. No way. The KTM costs a lot more stock. I've got a lot more money in it. Someone asked me what the difference is, like, in money right now. I don't know for sure, but it's probably $5,000. So maybe 6. Between all the suspension mods I've done on this and the KTM, like, I probably got $6,000 more between. No, I don't know. It's a lot. It's 5 at least with the inserts, the cartridges, and the ERM in the head. I don't know. It's a ton more, right? But there's a reason people buy brand new Toyotas. So that's my thing. And then build quality. Sorry, I'm gonna keep going here, and I'll catch back up to you guys. Build quality. The Beta is built well. I like it. I hate the wiring harness. Everybody will admit that the wiring harness and all the connectors are junk. That's like not a surprise, nor is it. Anyway, I'm not telling you anything you can't look up on Google with that. But the motor and the chassis and the frame is good. The KYB suspension components are not A-level KYB stuff. It's not the stuff that comes on YZs. There are little differences in there that make a big difference in how it works. So you're not getting YZ SSS stuff when you buy that. You're also getting a smaller shock body, smaller shock shaft on the Beta. So, and I'm not trying to bag on the Beta. It's just a very different machine, and it costs a lot less money. So there's a reason. So anyway, and then the YZ250 is just bad to the bone, dude. Like, if you want to kickstart a bike, if you don't mind kickstarting a bike, just buy a YZ250. For the money, you can set it up and make it like the most wicked weapon ever. Kel Becker, KTM 524 watt setup, Mako 360 Scott setup. Yeah, so Mako 360 for sure, Kel. And then I talking about a Scott steering stabilizer. Yeah, I like steering stabilizers. The Scott's is the best. That or the Precision PT Precision, whatever the Precision Parts one. That one's super super cool too. Second form, B level Woods Racer, C in 40 plus moto. Thanks, you bet. Is there really a need to buy the TSP head with the ERM? I've heard the compression on stock head is pretty high anyway. Matthew, it's not necessary. Like the ERM will work just fine without the high compression head. I just like higher compression. You get some bang for the buck with the high compression head. And yes, the stock head is relatively high, so it's not bad. But the W to me is a little lazy, and the head tuned with the ERM makes a big difference. Have you test rode the Italian Queen since you did the free power mod? No, Pains and Rides, I have not. Smiley Hanson, what's happening, dude? I saw you got out on the beta and crashed it, and you were loving it. So, Smiley, you can jump in and talk about that. Eric Hall, Steve is the best. Don't go through that other guy. Yeah, Justin McCauley, do not go through the other guy. Please only talk to Steve at South Bay Motor Performance if you want anything from TSP. Turns out IR. I don't know what that means, Mark. Great morning, Surprise, Arizona. Yeah, dude, I can't wait to see you down there. It's going to be fun. Oh, turns out it was the kill switch on the 24XC. Thanks again for trouble. Oh, sweet. Yes, Mark, we talked on the phone. That's awesome. I'm glad that was it. Thank you for I thought that analogy was pretty good. I had an 82 Toyota for best truck ever. Right, but if you had the 82 Toyota 4x4 next to a brand new Tacoma and you could afford either one, which one do you want to drive more often? Now, again, that Tacoma, a bunch of electronics in there that could fail, and you could get stuck way out in the weeds, whereas that 82, anything that broke, you could probably fix it with either a welder or some tools, and a part. So there you go. I love the 88 Toyota analogy. The idea that bells and whistles are rarely worth the loss of ease and reliability. There you go. So a beta might be good for you. Although, let's be honest, beta in the past has had some reliability issues. Mine seems to be good. It's only got about 10 hours on it, but so we're going to keep testing reliability. But yeah, old Toyotas rust away before they die. What do you think of Shercos? Rusty, I'm not a big fan of Shercos. I will be riding a Sherco, brand new Sherco down in Arizona, way more than I have so far. I like the way they handle and work and run and all that. I don't like working on them, if I'm honest. And people, oh my God, the internet has come unglued on me for what I've said about that. But, dude, I'm a professional mechanic, and I'm not like, I've been doing this for 30 years. I have not. I don't know everything, but I make a living turning wrenches on these things. And I'm telling you right now, the Sherco's harder to work on. So, there you go. Is a YZ250 decent in the slow stuff? Barty, yes, it is. You gotta do a little bit of work to them, not much though. The motor's incredible in the slow stuff. The suspension in the slow stuff is a little bit stiff. Yeah, but I mean honestly, yeah, if you put a flywheel weight on it, gear it down, and then if you valve the suspension if you want, otherwise just turn the clickers a bunch and you'll be amazed at how good they are. Have you seen the fish motor e-start for the YZ250s? Vigard, I have not yet seen that. I've heard about it, and yeah, I'd love to try it. I'd love. Again, that's another reason. Wouldn't it be sweet if this channel made enough money that I hear you say that and go buy a YZ250 and the fish moto and try it for you before you guys spend the money? There we go. Again, thank you members, thank you patrons, thank you everybody who uses my links. That's how that happens. Do you have to run race gas with high compression head? No, you do not. Not even at sea level. Smiley, it's great to see you, dude. I haven't. The 82. So who's to choose the 82? There you go. But you got a Sherco, man. It doesn't even have a kickstart. So that kickstart is one of the things I like most about that beta. I have an 18 Beta 250 RR toying with the idea of trading for YZ250. Thoughts? Depends on what you're doing, Barty. But if you want to go fast, if you like going fast, flowy, deserty, big hits, things like that, the YZ250 is way better. So Smiley Hanson put 2 hours on his new beta. He's impressed with the bottom end on that thing. It feels really good. I'm coming off of O2 YZ250, so your 88 is an awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, whatever. It's good. There you go. Yeah, Kevin Doyle, 88 Yoda with a beta in the back equals ultimate EMP survival. Agree. When the old Datsuns ran forever too. Yeah, old Ford Rangers too. I could have said Ford Ranger F-150, but the Toyota thing just sticks in my mind because I'm a Toyota guy. Since you haven't test rode the beta yet, I want to talk about Bigfoot. What do you mean? Oh, you mean with the power mod? Yeah, but I've ridden other betas with it, so I know it does good stuff. It does really good stuff. YZ250 with the flywheel weight, FMF gnarly, and 18-inch reel was great trail weapon. Yeah, it's Smiley, which is Justin Hanson, 100% agree. YZ250 just doesn't get much better. My kid, absolutely rips on his YZ250, and it's got a flywheel weight. It's got a 19-inch wheel, but big tank, and he rides nasty stuff, fast stuff, whatever. Bang for the buck, honestly, YZ250. Period. Yeah, 100%. I will probably say that till I die, till they quit making them and you can't find them anymore. Rich Pierce coming in. CR500, best woods bike ever. He's kidding, by the way. The KTM does not have a Kickstarter. Yeah, I know. Who said that's what I'm saying. The KTM doesn't have a Kickstart, and it did fail me. Unfortunately, that was actually not the KTM. That was my choice of start-stop buttons that caused that, if we're going to be completely honest here. But yeah, not having a Kickstarter. Well, with the way that failed, the Kickstarter, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked because the Bendix was bound up on the flywheel. It wouldn't have worked anyway. But yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying you were like, old 88. Well, unfortunately, you're like when they put the 22RE motor in the Toyota. That's what you're driving. So you got fuel injection. It's not fuel injected, I know, but you're lacking one bit of belt and suspenders. Let's see. Good morning. You should do a test on the Lex Duraflow pipe on my KTM. I can't because they don't have one for my KTM. Unfortunately, for my new KTM, they have one for everything up to the 23, the new TBIs. So Scott, I'm dying to test one of those. Is your valving the same as what TBT offers in Arizona? Yes, it's the same. All you got to do is ask for, we did some testing on that specifically, but if you talk to Terry Webb and say, hey, I want the same valving that Morgan has in his bike, he will get you that valving. Because Travis is the one who gave it to me. Morgan, I've gotten the whole shot and everything. Dude, I mean, second form, I would love to hear your thing, but I got a stack of whole shot award hats from Weeby this year because Roger Hurd, he's not on here, which normally he is, gave me the absolute freaking lowdown on dead engine starts. He won more desert races on a 125 than you can even imagine. So yeah, but I'd love to hear your option, your version too. They probably match up. What's the proper way to break in a new bike? So for me, here's the deal. I don't go like pin it straight up hill climbs right off the bat, but I just ride the crap out of the motorcycle with some respect to the fact that the motor's new, because all these bikes, the max you're going to get is like a 30-day warranty, and if I break it, I want to break it in that 30 days and be able to take it back and get it taken care of. So I just ride them. So yeah, who said that's good? I'm glad you have you got old bikes so you can still ride. Same with me. I got an XR650, so I kind of win because the XR650 is the greatest motorcycle ever built. Sorry. It's hands down the greatest motorcycle ever built. If you've ever ridden one or owned one, you know I'm right. You know I'm right, 100%. You can literally do anything on that bike. Let's see. So yeah, break in. Like I said, I just don't do anything dumb, but like also don't baby it. I just got an old 05 450 EXC with 300 hours. The shock has probably never been serviced. What would you replace in a normal service? Seal head, oil, bladder. Yeah, so you don't need to replace the seal head, but the seal and the bushing, we stock those separate little pieces, a lot cheaper than the head. Seal, bushing, obviously oil, usually piston band on something that old. The band that goes around the piston that goes going up and down the shock, so I replace those. And then obviously oil, bladder kit I'm a big fan of, but you don't have to do it, but I would do it on that because that piston and those O-rings are probably kind of worn out. Rusty, I've heard the transmission from a WR426 will fit in a YZ250. Yes, that's true. Seafleas, what's happening? It is from desert to single track XR650, dude. And dual sport and road racing. I have a friend who full built a road race bike with an XR650, like a kind of like supermoto, but like raced it against true road race bikes and like smoked on that thing. And then I have another buddy, Travis Newbold. Some of you guys might know Travis. Um, he built a flat track to race hill climbs, like, you know, um, uh, gravel dirt road hill climbs, not crazy steep Widowmaker hill climbs, and smoked the field on the thing. Like, just anyway. So XR650, best bike ever, whatever. If you want a small light bike, the YZ250 is the best bang for the buck. If you want the fanciest of fancy, the KTM, the new KTMs are amazing. They're not made in China yet. They will be eventually, and that's going to suck. But right now, they're still made in Austria. There's Chinese parts, but there's Chinese parts on literally everything. So I'm not going down that road. But the regard, I am flexing the XR650 100%. Because my personal XR650, mine has raced the Baja 1000 solo from tip to tip successfully. It has ridden across this country on pavement. It has ridden every single track trail in this area. It's ridden 5 miles of hell. It's been all over the plateau, in the mountains. It's gone fishing. Dude, it is the single greatest bike ever made. Period. See, I just got my 24 Beta 390. Ooh, those are great bikes. Looking forward to riding and mods. What was the flexible license plate holder you got? Oh yeah. I'll show you. I got it right here. Where is it? I think I have it. Where'd it go? Oh yeah. Here, hang on. Sorry guys. Boom! Right here, Roost Concepts, the mullet, which I think is awesome. This thing is sweet. I have not yet put it on. Obviously, I haven't got my bike street legal yet, so it will be. And when I do, I'm gonna put this on with the license plate. The cool thing about this, the reason I like this, is it's a quick release. Like, anyway, you bolt the license plate to it, and then you bolt this to your little fender thingy, and then it's got a big thumb screw. You put it on there. It probably comes from the back, but anyway, put it on there, ride, and then if you want to go race it or you want to go do hard enduro stuff, you're gonna flip the thing over. Anyway, you just slide it off. You're good. So, hands down, awesome. It's roost-concepts.com. Buy one. They're great. Whole shop hats coming back this year. Love it, Weeby. We're going to go for it. Try to get as many. 93 XR600 is pretty cool, too. So, yeah, Daniel Sykes, the 93 XR600, or any XR600R, is also a phenomenal bike. Arguably, maybe a better EMP bike than anything because it's air-cooled. So it's even more simple and more bulletproof. Also, it's a Honda air-cooled motor, which, I don't know, we could have this discussion, but I think I'd win. I think that the Honda air-cooled motor might be the single most durable motor ever built, period, ever. I'd love to hear of another one, and I'm talking all Honda air-cooled motors. Let's see. There are no China parts on my bike. Yeah, yeah, on your KDX, you're right, 100%. I'm talking about modern stuff. Regard my suspension guy takes the valve stacks apart to clean and check each shim. With such a bad service record on that 450, you should make sure this gets done on the suspension. Yeah, sorry, pains and rights for sure. If you're rebuilding suspension, especially old stuff, yeah, you should take the shim stack apart and clean it. By the way, quick thing, there's a whole bunch of you watching, but only a few of you have hit the thumbs up. So back out of the chat for a second, hit the thumbs up, and then yam on back in. And for some reason, I don't think we're broadcasting on Facebook, which is, I don't know, this software is weird. Have you ever ridden a Mako or any other exotic bike? Rusty, I have not. I've never really ridden anything. The coolest thing I rode, and I mainly just putted it around because I just didn't want to mess it up, was an old Husqvarna 250, which was beautiful, like a 70s, like gorgeous. I did not want to mess it up. I like the motor from the Beta 300R Racing 22. Open the power valve to flush, jetting right for the temperature and altitude will be moisture. I think it'll be better than any KTM or Husky. Sealed View Pop. That's a fun name. It all depends on what you like, right? On like what we're talking about, better or worse on those 300 two-strokes. It depends on what you want, what you're looking for, what you like the most. Because I'll disagree with what you say on the fact that the Beta just shakes, like, and the new KTM's don't, and that is, honestly, it's huge. It's a big deal on a long day, beat down, 200-mile day, which we do. That vibration wears on you, man. As far as like power, maybe. It might. It might be again better. But it's, yeah, I mean, I can say that this Beta has way more bottom end than any KTM I've ever ridden, especially stock. My 18 KTM that Rich Pierce has, that motor's pretty special, but it also has a lot of stuff done to it. It's got an RK Tech head. I know Kelsey hates me now because I'm running TSP on the fuel-injected bikes, but on a carbureted bike, if you want all the power, RK Tech is hands down the best. I hope Kelsey sees this so he knows I'm not bashing him, is what he said I was doing. I just wish he would get into the game on tuning ECUs. But anyway, so yeah, that thing's incredible. Quick one. When upping spring rates, does valving need adjusting? Yes, Daniel Sykes, it does. Because if you go super stiff on the springs, then when you compress, the spring is going to be fighting that valving way harder now that it's stiffer as it comes open, and your rebound is not going to be able to do what it needs to do, and it's going to get way too springy. So yes, it does. Just took apart the forks and they were caked. The oil looked like orange chocolate. Ugh, nice. Talking about his old 450 EXE bought and going through the suspension. My friend has a couple of old M-Star bikes, trying to get those for projects. Sweet. What would be the biggest suspension drop you would do to a bike that will be used for technical slow stuff? Yeah, short, like, biggest, like, how far down? Man, I don't like to go more than like an inch and a half, like, because you're really starting to screw with the geometry of everything. Now you can valve around that geometry stuff, and we do with TBT. But the other problem with going way more than that is you start getting your feet in the rocks, and I really don't like that. That's actually another thing about this Beta. I clip my foot pegs in the bottom of that bike more than I do on my KTM. I think that the ground clearance is less, which is weird. Josh, it looks like Villegas, but I think it's probably Villegas or something like that. But anyway, that's a rad name. Or maybe it's just Villegas because you've been in the United States long enough and they butchered it. I don't know. Or I'm reading it way wrong. Do you have a good setup for the open chamber sacks, forks, and shock for the 24RR? Yes, we have very good settings for that. Very, very, very good settings for that. We've had a lot of happy people with that. So, yeah. What else? Did I miss anything? I don't know if I missed anything. Mako Breakos is 100%. So yeah, what other questions you guys have? And yeah, sorry, I'm definitely not trying to like bag on the Beta and all my posts about like liking the KTM better. I just do, right? That's a cool thing. It's funny how people get so fired up if I don't like their bike. Like, who cares? I'm just some guy on the internet, man. Like, who gives a crap if I like your bike or not? I have very strong opinions and I say them and I'm happy, whatever. It's part of why people watch this and get fired up. And I make money on here and all that stuff. But like, you gotta, like, at the end of the day, man, be happy with what you have. Like, just be happy. Like, it's fine. So I'm not trying to bag on the Beta for it. Me not liking it as much. I just don't like. It just doesn't make me giggle, right? And to me, motorcycles, dirt bikes especially, are all about fun. They're not about. There's no need for them other than our mental therapy, right? So it's all about fun. Which one brings you the more fun? And the reality is, I laugh and giggle and am more excited to be on the KTM. That's all there is to it. So anyway, I think the Beta is a better rock bike, and that's what I'm going to use it for. But what I love to do, and the KTM is just so much fun. Vigard, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. What kind of air filter, oil, and cleaner do you recommend? Okay, the cleaner, hands down, I will argue forever on this one. So I don't like no oil, but I'm not going to go down that path. But if you use normal oil, which I like Bel-Ray foam filter oil in the bottle, the liquid stuff. It's super, super tacky. Just the best. And then the cleaner is the WR-F3 stuff. It's WR Performance or WR Products. It's the F3 cleaner. I sell it here. Ben Nicholson sells it in Canada on FirstTrackMotorsports.com. And that stuff is like magic. I mean, I've talked to so many people who agree with me. I've got people to try it. Like, it is out of control how good that stuff is. There you go. Trail riding, KX250 or Beta 390 RR. For just trail riding, the Beta 390. It's built for it. Sold my 250 XCW TPI back in September. Bought a DRZ 400 in December last week, and I took the DRZ out to my enduro group. I was shocked at how good the Piggy was. Yeah, the big heavy bikes are not terrible in the hard stuff. Honestly, it's only when they fall down that they suck. Like the Black Bike Co's we're gonna fire some people up here with that question. I'll read it here in a second. Smiley Hansen, they are soft people. I can't wait to see you, man. It's gonna be a ton of fun down there. Riding in Arizona is gonna be fun. The only problem with big heavy bikes, big torquey heavy bikes and the slow stuff is when they fall down. Or they start to go a direction you don't want them to go. They're really hard to get them back into shape. So are those Midwest Mountain Engineering levers a scam? Okay. No, they are not a scam. They do truly change the leverage point and make your levers easier to pull. 100% they are not a scam. Do I like them? No. I don't like the shape of them. That's my first thing. Like, I don't like the shape. They're big and flat. Now, these are opinions based on my little fingers, right? So I don't like the way they feel in my hands, period. One thing I do like about them is that they're short, like super, super short, so you can tuck them way in. So if you fall, it's way less likely to hit things. Smiley Hansen, yeah. WR Performance Products, F3, the best. So I like that about them. They're also built in aluminum, so they're pretty strong anyway. But what I really don't like about them is, like, I don't like the shape. I really don't like how hard they are to get tuned into the right spot, because I see people burn up clutches or have clutches dragging all the time with those things, and it sucks. So not a fan of that. But they are not a scam. They do what they say they can do. Picked up a new to me 14 KTM 250 SX for a spare. Nice. Nice bike, actually. Haven't got to play with it yet. Any opinions or anything to look out for? No, dude. Denny, that's a great motorcycle. It's just like a YZ250. Like, honestly, that KTM, that era KTM 250 SX is a very close analog to a YZ250, man. It's like, it's got great suspension on it, I believe. It's got pretty sure the 14 still has the closed chamber, I hope, forks on it. If it does not, if it's got 4CS, those are the worst forks ever built. Ever. But you can fix it. But if it's got the closed chambers, which I think it does, they're so good. If it doesn't, Denny, talk to me. We can help you out with those forks. They're absolutely terrible. But, dude, the motor, the rest of that chassis, that bike's a great bike. If you're going to ride all the great trails around Sargent's, would you like the Beta more than the KTM? That's a great question, C. Abbott. Really good question. So he's talking about this is a really hard trails around Sargent's, really, really hard, really high altitude. I think I'd choose the Beta, honestly. If that was all I was going to do, I would choose the Beta because it First of all, there's a good chance of breaking something on those trails, and I think the beta is going to be easier to fix if something goes wrong. Also, the beta has better low end, so it's going to be easier to ride in that stuff. So, yeah, I would probably choose the beta. And again, if you're going to ride just only nasty, rocky, hard stuff, the beta's the choice. When did everybody's left hand get so weak? Sandy, it's when they started riding this really nasty stuff. Some people just did get weak. But, like, honestly, when you start riding the really, really hard stuff, it's nuts how much more of this you do than on, a normal trail ride. By the way, Scott Copland, our Enduro lover over the Midwest. Yes. So thank you for mentioning that. If you want to make your lever easy to pull and you have a Brembo, and very soon, I think Brake Tech or Magura, I forget what he's doing next. Anyway, there's another version coming very, very soon. Get the R Enduro set up. It's expensive, but it works. It's on my KTM still. I'm sure I'm going to put one on my beta eventually. You can extend the life of F3 by running it through a coffee filter. Ooh, nice. Dave Brayman coming in clutch. I like it. Are the lucky inserts worth getting for a C level rider on a Beta 200 RR? Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I don't know. I might, if I were you, Matthew, I might do what am I trying to say? I'm losing my mind here. I might revalve that instead of putting inserts in, because for a C-level rider, those Sachs forks are fine if we just set them up right. I've rode in 18 years and thinking about getting back into it. Last bike I rode was the CR500 for a few years, looking at a Beta 300. Got a few coworkers that ride and make me want to start up again. Okay, I got a Skrill Bodankins. I don't know how to, anyway, crazy name there. Do it. Get back into it. Buy a Beta 300. You'll be happy. It's cheaper than the KTM. It's simple. It's all good. What do I think of pre-17 XC bikes? TF, I like them very much. I had a 2012. That was my first KTM. It's what actually really converted me over to riding KTMs from Yamahas. I'd ridden YZ250s forever. I bled blue. I didn't want anything to do with it, but I decided I would try something different because I wanted an electric start. At 12 KTM 300, I put 550 hours on that bike, and it absolutely rocked. Great bike. Let's see. Lucas, I'm going to swap to twin chamber forks. What is a good fork to set up for hair scramble? Which twin chamber fork are you going with? So if you're going to buy whole new forks, so what do you have, Lucas? What bike? Because if you can just drop in inserts, dude, the Del Saggio spheres are freaking next level. Next level. Have you ever worked on a TM? What do I think? I've never worked on one. I've been around a few of them. They're neat, but I wouldn't buy one. And it's not because they're not good. It's because you can't get parts and they're weird and all that. But like, I think they're fine. If you had a so I have a friend, Chris Kinberg, who's not on here. I think I'm going to see him. I think he's coming over to Phoenix. He lives in Lake Havasu. He had a TM. He was all TM guy, like TM guy. Like hardcore TM guy, because there was a dealer in Havasu, and he loved it, right? Like just love. Oh my God, you got to get TM. TM's the best thing in the world. And I'm like, okay, Chris, whatever. And then he's getting way into hard enduro. Like dude practices all the time. He's going to all the races. He's like really putting the time in to get better, and he's getting way better. And I've noticed that literally every video is him on a Sherco. There is no TM in. I think that I don't know if he still owns it, but no thanks. Bruce Kennedy, I'm glad. I knew you'd love the beta videos. I really am liking the bike. I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't inspire me like, yeah. Like my KTM makes me just freaking laugh out loud when I twist the throttle. It's like, holy crap, this thing's good. So. Anyway, guys, it's 8:15. I had better boogie. Again, consider being a member to the channel or patron on Patreon. It really does help us out a lot. Members are getting to watch videos right now that aren't going to come out until Saturday. So that's pretty cool, right? And I really appreciate that. So, guys, I love you so, so, so much. And again, I don't want anyone to think that they have to give financially to the channel. I'm going to keep doing this till the day I die anyway, because I really enjoy sharing all this with all of you around the planet. It really is, I don't know, it's really great. Huge thank you for the super chat, Vergard. Thank you very much for that. I really, really appreciate it. Punk Rock Club, you know you're my favorite. You know I love you more than I love everyone else. You guys are the best. If you don't know what that is, it's all the people who watch till the end of all the videos. So, and then give us a punk rock sign as a comment. That would be awesome. God bless you guys. God bless motorcycles and dirt bikes, because they're just incredible. I hope you guys get out and spread the gospel of two wheels, and I desperately, desperately, desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on, but way more importantly, get out and ride your dirt bikes!